is turned down, but I don't know if I got the volume on this side. Yeah, you guys can hear me. That's going very well. Everything's looking like it's perfect. Other than, I gotta see if I'm actually on here. Know what I mean? Oh, it looks like we're on here. We gotta save it to a playlist. New playlist. Fast. Day. Whatever. Screensaver, y'all. Because we gotta sync it all up, guys. We gotta sync it all up. And as we sync it all up, you know how we do it, guys. You know how we do it. We get that going. We get the live going. We show you guys what's going on. Screensaver, y'all. Because we gotta sync it all up, guys. We gotta sync it all up. And as we sync it all up, you know how we do it, guys. You know how we do it. We get that going. We get the live going. We show you guys what's going on, and that was going wrong with it. So now you guys got that little delay over there or whatever, but you know, a delay is something that's needed in life. And when you got delays in life, then you got to sit there and think about what's really going on. So, seeming like audio and everything is working well, we're going to get this new show going, guys. We're going to get this new show going. I got a PSA I want to tell y'all in a little bit. It's urgent, but I'm trying to wait for maximum traction before we bring that up. So, I just appreciate you guys that come in here or in here in the beginning. Watch the beginning. If you're watching on your television or your phone, you know we really do appreciate you guys. We really do appreciate you guys. And we can show you like in the corner. It shows you how to it is pointless anyway.
Alaska's extraordinary resource potential. Today, President Donald J. Trump approved the appeal of the Alaska Industrial Development and Export Authority, AIDA, directing his administration to promptly issue authorizations necessary for the establishment of the Ambler Road project. This project will provide road transportation access to the Ambler Mining District. The Ambler Road project is a proposed 211-mile industrial road from the Dalton Highway to Alaska's remote Ambler Mining District that would enable access to large deposits of copper, cobalt, gallium, germanium, and more. The permits for the road have been held for years due to protracted litigation, and the president has finally allowed this project to go forward to support the administration's energy dominance agenda. The decision finds that the road is in the public interest given our need for access to domestic critical minerals, and there is no economically feasible and prudent alternative route. The decision directs the Bureau of Land Management, National Park Service, and U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to reissue necessary permits to construct the road. In addition, the U.S. government is announcing a partnership with Trilogy Metals, investing $35.6 million to support mining exploration in Alaska's Ambler Mining District. This investment makes the U.S. government a 10% shareholder in Trilogy Metals and includes warrants to purchase an additional 7.5% of the company. Unlocking access to America's critical minerals. President Trump's decision overturns the Biden administration's 2024 rejection of the Ambler Road, which ignored Alaska's economic needs and national security imperatives. The Ambler Road project is vitally important to America's national defense and economic prosperity. An access road is crucial to unlocking critical minerals located in this currently inaccessible area of Alaska, which has been characterized as one of the largest undeveloped copper-zinc mineral belts in the world and contains extensive deposits of copper, silver, gold, lead, cobalt, and other strategic metals. The road will provide essential surface transportation access for the more than 1,700 active mining claims in the district, supporting expanded mineral exploration, mine development, and operations. Construction of the road will directly support 2,730 jobs, driving income, spending, and economic growth in rural Alaska. Alaska is projected to receive more than $1.1 billion in revenues from mining license tax revenues, corporate income taxes, production royalties, and claim rents associated with this project. The project takes extensive mitigation measures, including caribou protection policies and fish passage culverts, to minimize environmental impacts. Ensuring American prosperity, President Trump continues to prioritize economic growth and national security, delivering where Democrats have failed to harness America's resources. Immediately upon returning to office, President Trump signed an executive order to unleash Alaska's extraordinary resource potential, including advancing
As you guys know, we're on to the next story. We always start with the White House before we go to CNN because CNN ain't running the country. The Orange Man is. So, like, what's the point of reading anything other than from the Orange Man? I don't know, chat.
Poll: Americans want Democrats to end their shutdown. Articles. The White House. October 6, 2020. Most Americans want Democrats to end their disastrous government shutdown, according to a new Harvard Cap/Harris poll. It comes as service members and federal employees are set to miss their next paycheck. Critical food assistance for low-income women and children is in dire jeopardy. States are staring down an economic catastrophe, and layoffs could be imminent, all because of Democrats' sick push to give illegal aliens free health care. Here are the key results. 70% oppose the government shutdown. 65% say Democrats should accept Republicans' clean, nonpartisan continuing resolution. 62% say Republicans will win the government shutdown. 55% say Democrats are.
And they want to go on and on and on and on. I don't know. We just got to see what's going on because sometimes we might find something that we need to know more than what's on CNN. And this is like Trump's new Twitter, guys. This is Trump's
Signers of the Declaration of Independence. I approve the appeal made by the applicant Alaska Industrial Development and Export Authority, AIDA, on...
Hold on, they're signing a new Declaration of Independence? Did anybody tell you about this new Declaration of Independence that MAGA is signing right now? Trump just signed a new Declaration of Independence, guys. What is this?
On June 6, 2025, under Section 1106A of the Alaska National Interest Lands Conservation Act, ANILCA, and approve AIDA's 2016 revised consolidated application for a transportation system known as the Ambler Road Project for the reasons explained in the following statement of reasons. In making my decision, I have considered all relevant information as...
Okay, I don't understand how that's a Declaration of Independence, though. Now we got something from the Department of War. Hopefully this is relevant and longer.
Department of War Security for the Protection of Federal Personnel and Property in Illinois. Presidential Actions. Presidential Memoranda. October 6, 2025. Memorandum for the Secretary of War. The Attorney General. The Secretary of Homeland Security. Subject: Department of War Security for the Protection of Federal Personnel and Property in Illinois. The situation in the state of Illinois, particularly in and around the city of Chicago, cannot continue. Federal facilities in Illinois, including those directly supporting Immigration and Customs Enforcement, IC, and the Federal Protective Services, FPS, have come under coordinated assault by violent groups intent on obstructing federal law enforcement activities. These groups have sought to impede the deportation and removal of criminal aliens through violent demonstrations, intimidation, and sabotage of federal operations. These violent activities appear to be increasing, and the situation in the state of Illinois, particularly in and around the city of Chicago, cannot continue. These activities are not occurring in isolation. Instead, these activities are similar to other ongoing efforts in multiple states and cities around the country to disrupt the faithful enforcement of federal law. On June 7, 2025, I determined that similar activities warranted the mobilization of the National Guard. Likewise, at the end of September, I directed the Secretary of War to mobilize the National Guard due to ongoing violence and interference with federal law enforcement in Oregon. In those prior directives and in this instance, I have determined that these incidents, as well as the credible threat of continued violence, impede the execution of the laws of the United States. I have further determined that the regular forces of the United States are not sufficient to ensure the laws of the United States are faithfully executed, including in Chicago. In light of both past incidents in Chicago and the credible threat of future incidents, and in light of my determinations, by the authority vested in me as President by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, including 10 U.S.C. 12406, I hereby call into federal service at least 300 members of the Illinois National Guard. Until the Governor of Illinois consents to a federally funded mobilization, under Title 32 of the United States Code, of the Illinois National Guard, under state control. The members of the Illinois National Guard called into federal service shall protect IC, FPS, and other United States government personnel who are executing federal law in the state of Illinois, and federal property in the state of Illinois. They shall do so at any locations at which violent demonstrations prevent the execution of federal law or are likely to prevent the execution of federal law based on current threat assessments and planned operations. The duration of such federal service shall be 60 days or at the discretion of the Secretary of War. Further, I direct and delegate actions as necessary for the Secretary of War to coordinate with the Governor of the State of Illinois and the Chief of the National Guard Bureau in identifying and ordering into federal service the appropriate members and units of the Illinois National Guard under this authority. To carry out this mission, the deployed National Guard personnel may perform those protective activities that the Secretary of War determines are reasonably necessary to ensure the execution of federal law in Illinois and to protect federal property in Illinois. Following the deployment of any National Guard personnel to any location in Illinois, the Secretary of War shall consult with the Attorney General and the Secretary of Homeland Security prior to withdrawing the personnel from such location. The Secretary of War and the Secretary of Homeland Security may delegate to subordinate officials of their respective departments any of the authorities conferred upon them by this memorandum. Donald J. Trump.
What's going on right here, dude? You got like leave me alone. I feel like you obsessed now at this point. Matter of fact, we just gonna do it like last night. If we ignore him, he's gonna leave us alone. He'll leave us alone. The fuck?
Fact sheet. President Donald J. Trump approves Ambler Road project to unlock Alaska's mineral potential. Fact sheets. The White House. October 6, 2025. Unleashing Alaska's extraordinary resource potential. Today, President Donald J. Trump approved the appeal of the Alaska Industrial Development and Export Authority, AIDA, directing his administration to promptly issue authorizations necessary for the establishment of the Ambler Road project. This project will provide road transportation access to the Ambler Mining District. The Ambler Road project is a proposed 211-mile industrial road from the Dalton Highway to Alaska's remote Ambler Mining District that would enable access to large deposits of copper, cobalt, gallium, germanium, and more. The permits for the road have been held for years due to protracted litigation, and the President has finally allowed this project to go forward to support the administration's energy dominance agenda. The decision finds that the road is in the public interest given our need for access to domestic critical minerals, and there is no economically feasible and prudent alternative route. The decision directs the Bureau of Land Management, National Park Service, and U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to reissue necessary permits to construct the road. In addition, the U.S. government is announcing a partnership with Trilogy Metals, investing $35.6 million to support mining exploration in Alaska's Ambler Mining District. This investment makes the U.S. government a 10% shareholder in Trilogy Metals and includes warrants to purchase an additional 7.5% of the company. Unlocking access to America's critical minerals. President Trump's decision overturns the Biden administration's 2024 rejection of the Ambler Road, which ignored Alaska's economic needs and national security imperatives. The Ambler Road project is vitally important to America's national defense and economic prosperity. An access road is crucial to unlocking critical minerals located in this currently inaccessible area of Alaska, which has been characterized as one of the largest undeveloped copper-zinc mineral belts in the world and contains extensive deposits of copper, silver, gold, lead, cobalt, and other strategic metals. The road will provide essential surface transportation access for the more than 1,700 active mining claims in the district, supporting expanded mineral exploration, mine development, and operations. Construction of the road will directly support 2,730 jobs, driving income, spending, and economic growth in rural Alaska. Alaska is projected to receive more than $1.1 billion in revenues from mining license tax revenues, corporate income taxes, production royalties, and claim rents associated with this project. The project takes extensive mitigation measures, including caribou protection policies and fish passage culverts, to minimize environmental impacts. Ensuring American prosperity, President Trump continues to prioritize economic growth and national security, delivering where Democrats have failed to harness America's resources. Immediately upon returning to office, President Trump signed an executive order to unleash Alaska's extraordinary resource potential, including advancing the Ambler Access Road project. The Trump administration has streamlined permitting, cutting project approval times to boost domestic industry and infrastructure. In March, President Trump signed an executive order to boost American critical mineral production. In April, President Trump launched a Section 232 investigation into the national security risks posed by U.S. reliance on imported processed critical minerals and their derivative products. In June, President Trump signed a presidential memorandum to foster interagency coordination when funding energy and critical mineral projects to better prioritize the use of taxpayer funds and end wasteful duplicative processes. President Trump has consistently championed policies that balance economic development with environmental stewardship, ensuring projects like the Ambler Road benefit all Alaskans and the nation.
Okay. Okay. So we moving on to the next thing. I think I got. Never mind. I ain't even going. Cause you guys know I'm not really too good with the YouTube back end fully or whatever. They got some crazy shit going on in Chicago. It's always going down in Chicago though. You already know who is it. I guarantee he's one of them. He's one of them guys. He's one of that 80%.
Chicago mayors. IC-free zones. Shield violent criminal illegals. Abandoned citizens. Articles. The White House. October 6, 2025. Today, in a disgusting betrayal of every law-abiding citizen, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson declared city spaces as ice-free zones. Johnson's pathetic excuse that enforcing our nation's immigration laws somehow undermines community trust exposes his true loyalty to criminal illegal alien predators, not the terrified families of Chicago. Shielding the most depraved, violent criminal illegal aliens from justice is not only an insult to every Chicagoan, it's also a dangerous intensification of Democrats' lunatic sanctuary agenda where criminal illegals come before American citizens. This sick policy coddles criminal illegal alien killers, rapists, and gangbangers who prey on innocent Americans, like these predators IC has taken off the streets of Chicago in recent days. Stefan Sieve, an Austrian national with convictions for sexual assault, aggravated criminal sexual assault, aggravated criminal sexual abuse, numerous sexual predator in a public park offenses, child sex offender loitering, violation of the sex offender registry and pending charges for murder and rape or sexual abuse of a minor. Refugio Ramirez Larios, a Mexican national with convictions for felony possession of a weapon, concealing homicidal death, possession of cocaine, weapon offense, crimes against a person, and traffic offenses. Angel Galindo Viveros, a Mexican national with convictions for armed carjacking, armed criminal action, driving a vehicle without a license, possession of a firearm by a felon, robbery, and traffic offenses. Yoshel Alejandro Ian del Toro, a Mexican national with convictions for domestic violence, battery, 2 counts of resisting an officer, and 2 pending charges of assault. Blanca Cecilia Sanchez Sanchez, a Venezuelan national and confirmed member of the brutal Tren de Aragua gang. Antonio Rosales Rodriguez, a Mexican national with convictions or arrests for domestic violence, theft, DUI, and criminal transmission of HIV. Cristobal Carrillas Mason, a Salvadoran national with convictions for statutory rape, fraud, and aggravated felony, and pending charges for assault and failure to register as a sex offender. Jose Sanchez Torres, a Mexican national with convictions for exposing himself to a child, domestic violence, and driving without a license. He was ordered removed from the U.S. in 2004.
Why did that read like it was one of those? It read like a Facebook page. Like, what is going on right here? We got a presidential message on Child Health Day. That was a little excessive. Like, it was a whole bunch of mugshots.
Presidential message on Child Health Day. Briefing.
Like, the last jaunt, dude was talking about driving without a license. I'm like, what, bro?
Briefings and statements. The White House. October 6, 2025.
My bad.
This Child Health Day. And every day, my administration is committed to protecting the health and well-being of every American child, equipping our youngest citizens to lead long and fulfilling lives, and keeping the American spirit alive and flourishing for years to come. In recent decades, there has been an unexplained and alarming rise in chronic illnesses and health problems among American children. Before our very eyes, we have seen massive rises in autism, autoimmune disorders, obesity, diabetes, serious allergies, and mental health challenges in younger generations. My administration's Make America Healthy Again Commission is leading the effort to find out what is going on and provide solutions. Starting with reducing chemical exposure and the flood of ultra-processed foods that pollute children's plates and returning to real, whole foods that nourish instead of weaken. Physical activity is being restored in schools, once again making exercise an invigorating part of every child's day, and the presidential fitness test has been reestablished. Through this commission, we are also assessing the dangers of widespread prescriptions of selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, SSRIs, antipsychotics, mood stabilizers, and weight loss drugs. For too long, the status quo has promoted medication as the first answer to every challenge, leaving young Americans dependent and often worse off. My administration is committed to finding a better way, encouraging lasting solutions like exercise, nutrition, and community that builds strong minds and bodies. Earlier this year, I signed into law the Take It Down Act, a landmark new law championed by First Lady Melania Trump. Through her leadership and tireless advocacy, this law provides critical protections for American children against digital exploitation, including deepfake abuse, and strengthens safeguards for their online privacy and mental health. Melania's commitment to this cause underscores the fact that protecting our children in the digital age is as vital as looking after their physical well-being. Today, the First Lady and I join our fellow Americans in renewing our resolve to champion the well-being and health of the youngest among us. For nearly 250 years, our nation has been sustained by the vision and strength of younger generations. And under my leadership, American children will once again grow, thrive, and lead us into a bigger, brighter, and healthier future.
And we're about to be moving on to the next story in the whole lineup. You guys know how we be doing this, guys. I think there's one more story. No, what added stories? No, that was the kids' health. Okay. Here we go, and this is the end.
Presidential message on German American Day, 2025. Briefing since.
Hold on, we doing German American Day? Yo, this is sounding crazy. Listen, right? You guys were like exaggerating his last term. So a lot of people wasn't taking y'all serious because y'all was crying wolf. Now when it's time to cry wolf, I'm like, I can't do it, guys.
Statements. The White House. October 6, 2025. Nearly 250 years ago, in the midst of the Revolutionary War, German military officer Friedrich Wilhelm von Steuben helped transform the U.S. Continental Army from a band of militias into a unified and disciplined fighting force at Valley Forge, paving the way for our independence. In the century since, the German-American community has immeasurably fortified our way of life. They have strengthened our schools, fought on the battlefield in defense of our freedom, developed groundbreaking innovations, and served our citizens in the highest offices in our land. Today, we honor the legends of the past and celebrate the pioneers of the present whose hard work, ingenuity, and faith in God make our country stronger, freer, and more prosperous. For many years, the United States and Germany have been enduring transatlantic partners. To keep our relationship strong, preserve our rich cultural inheritance, and safeguard the blessings of democracy, my administration.
Because that homeless guy's AI, he like lives on my phone, but he's homeless because he searched the internet for us. You feel me? And I understand that the homeless guy is sitting there doing whatever and he's speaking how I be speaking or whatever, but it's like it's irrelevant to the whole thing. Just know I could be multiple people and the same people at the same time. You feel me? But I'm glad we got a regular chatter in this joint, and we ain't got that MAGA furry. The MAGA furry got lost out this joint, so you know. We having a great day. We having a great day. Now we're going to see what CNN's overreacting about. We seen what Trump is overreacting about. Now we see CNN overreacting. What's going on, CNN?
Legal battles erupt over White House's moves to deploy National Guard to Portland and Chicago. By Andy Rose, Lauren Mascarenhas, Zoe Sotilli, and Michelle Watson, CNN. Updated 10:39 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Monday, October 6, 2025. Play. Judge blocks National Guard deployment to Portland. 147. What we're covering. Federal troop deployments. The Trump administration's efforts to deploy National Guard troops to Democrat-led cities have prompted a legal showdown between the White House and state and local officials. Illinois sues. Illinois and Chicago sued the administration on Monday, asking a federal court to halt the federalization of National Guard troops from that state and Texas, calling the move patently unlawful. Trump had authorized 300 Illinois Guard members to go to Chicago to protect federal officers and assets. Texas Governor Greg Abbott also volunteered 400 of his state's troops for deployment at Trump's discretion. Judge blocks Oregon deployment. On Sunday, a federal judge temporarily blocked the deployment of National Guard members to Portland, Oregon, for the second time. The decision came after the Trump administration tried to circumvent the original order by deploying troops from the California National Guard to Portland on Sunday, which led to the state of California joining the lawsuit. Trump debates using the Insurrection Act. Trump said Monday that he was considering invoking the Insurrection Act if courts kept blocking his deployments, saying he thinks protests in Portland are really criminal insurrection. All. Catch up. 38 posts. 19 minutes ago. Texas National Guard now headed to Illinois, source says. From CNN's Josh Campbell. Members of the
And it's like literally going down, chat. Like y'all was crying wolf. I didn't believe you.
Texas National Guard are now en route to Illinois following the Trump administration's ordering of troops from the state to conduct operations in the Chicago area. A law enforcement source familiar with the operations tells CNN. As part of the deployment, a U.S. military Globemaster C-17 transport plane departed the Fort Bliss military installation in El Paso, Texas, Monday evening, and is currently headed to Illinois, the source said.
All right.
Earlier Monday,
I want to get into what I came here to address you guys with tonight, because like I found this
the right of due process,
very disturbing, very, very, very disturbing video I found online today or whatever. You know what I mean? Gotta turn this up a little bit, but I gotta turn it down at the same time, because you guys just don't. You're not doing what I be doing, so you know. But this video is disturbing. I found this MAGA lunatic while I was scrolling, because you know I just be scrolling, trying to see what people's talking about and the thing or whatever, and whatever's going on. But long story short is, you guys got to hear it for yourself. I can't sit here and break it down to you guys. He's gonna break it down.
Well, there's people who are being taken off the streets that it doesn't even matter. Now it's too poor. See, what I could do is I could order all these Amazon badges, hypothetically, and come disappear your dumbass. It won't even matter, because you might even be a badass, but when 5 of my guys come and threaten you with fucking guns until you get in the van, you're going to squat like a little bitch, Gabriel, and you're going to get in the van. You ain't fighting shit. You're going to get in the van, and they're going to take you out to the woods and booze board you, because I told you waterboarding, I'm a military police. I know about torture and how that works.
Now, you see, he already said he's a police officer. With him being a police officer, why would you say stuff like this? And this was a live stream. I think this live stream's still currently going on. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be lurking a lot of different live streams, trying to find talking points. It's very rare y'all make me mad enough to say anything or whatever. But I do my show research before I start my show. And I try to look for the right things to bring to the people's attention. Because, like, listen to this man, y'all.
Going to get in the van. You ain't fighting shit. You're going to get in the van, and they're going to take you out to the woods and booze board you, because I told you waterboarding, I'm a military police. I know about torture and how that works, and Guantanamo Bay, and so you're threatening people, and I'm not making the threat to you. Remember, we already squashed that, but I'm showing you how stupid that you are. You live in a tech age where in the same day, 5 guys, we can go buy all these Amazon badges. They are not using the right of due process.
You hear what he's saying? Like, this is a domestic terrorist that was open on a YouTube platform streaming. They monetize and they push him. They be hiding me, though. They be hiding me. I don't understand why they be hiding me. I got like the craziest production setup. And the motherfuckers that stream with phones, these motherfuckers had their fucking hats on backwards and shit. Like, when you find him, his hat's gonna be on backwards. His fucking camera quality is worse than what I'm showing you. I had to fix his video. I don't understand why these cousin lovers can't afford a good phone. I don't know why these cousin lovers, I just don't understand these cousin lovers.
Show up at your, whatever, where you're at, showing up to you, and then showing a warrant. I don't care if you have citizenship. You have rights under the Constitution. It don't matter. That's the right to due process. Showing probable cause if they're going to cost your body.
But he wasn't talking about due process. I remind you guys.
You're going to squat like a little bitch, Gabriel, and you're going to get in the van. You ain't fighting shit, hypothetically, and come disappear your dumbass. It won't even matter, because you might even be a badass, but when 5 of my guys come and threaten you with fucking guns until you get in the van, you're going to squat like a little bitch, Gabriel, and you're going to...
He wasn't talking about no warrants. He wasn't talking about nothing. This is this MAGA rhetoric right now, after the passing away of one of their idols in the hate movement in the MAGA. Because not all MAGAs are like hateful people, but there's definitely a lot of hateful people in MAGA. And I don't understand why they're not separating themselves from this. You know what I mean? I don't understand. I don't understand. Y'all motherfuckers was reasonable till like 2 weeks ago. But we're going to get back into the news. Something's going on in Texas with their National Guard that's probably way more important than anything I'm saying. And we'll just do a whole refresh, too. This story is unfolding. You the plan. Listen, I don't care about the plans. I got my own plans, bro. My plans are to sit here and smoke and read a news to y'all.
Texas National Guard now headed to Illinois, source says. From CNN's Josh Campbell. Members of the Texas National Guard are now en route to Illinois following the Trump administration's ordering of troops from the state to conduct operations in the Chicago area. A law enforcement source familiar with the operations tells CNN. As part of the deployment, a U.S. military Globemaster C-17 transport plane departed the Fort Bliss military installation in El Paso, Texas, Monday evening, and is currently headed to Illinois, the source said. Earlier Monday evening, Texas Governor Greg Abbott tweeted a photo of Texas Guards members carrying riot gear boarding a military transport aircraft. 32 minutes ago. Who is the Trump-appointed judge who blocked his push to deploy troops in Oregon? From CNN's Michael Williams.
I'm just like, personally, right? I'm personally sick of all that bullshit. And I know you guys couldn't hear me as much because, I got the microphone. You guys be seeing how we be doing it. But we're going to do a refresh because you see my show restart started at like 9. But I be taking my time trying to figure out what's going on and all that, We got to know. Jimmy Fallon and Taylor Swift. What's going on, Jimmy? What's going on, Taylor? We need to know. We need the tea. We need the juice.
Taylor Swift returns to The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. Time, how to watch. Taylor Swift is taking her showgirl era to late night with an appearance on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. The music superstar has embarked on a press tour to promote her 12th studio album, The Life of a Showgirl, which was released on October 3rd. Swift will be on Fallon's show on Monday, October 6th. 2 days later, she is set to join Fallon's NBC colleague, Seth Meyers, on Late Night with Seth Meyers. The 35-year-old has made appearances on both shows before. Most recently, she was on Fallon's Tonight Show in 2022 to promote the release of her Midnights album. Her first late-night stop for The Life of a Showgirl was across the pond on The Graham Norton Show on Friday, October 3rd. Here's how to watch her on Fallon. What time is Taylor Swift on The Tonight Show? Swift's appearance on The Tonight Show will air on Monday, October 6th. The episode will start at 11:35 p.m. Eastern Time. How to watch Taylor Swift on The Tonight Show. The Tonight Show airs live on NBC. It also streams live through providers like Fubo, Hulu Plus Live TV, YouTube TV, and DirecTV. The episode will be available to stream the next day on Peacock. Stream The Tonight Show on Peacock here. Peacock offers 3 subscription options. Select for $7.99 a month, premium for $10.90.
Listen, I'm not trying to sell you guys no plans. I don't get no money from whoever's selling this stuff. We're not doing the whole selling. We're going to look into what happened. Feel me? What happened?
The music superstar has embarked on a press tour to... The episode will start at Stream The Tonight Show. She was last on the show. Swift has appeared on... Peacock offers 3 subscription options. Select for $7.99. A look back at past Taylor Swift appearances on The Tonight Show. Swift has appeared on Fallon's show many times throughout its decade-long run. She was last on the show in November 2022, about a month after Midnights was released. Before that, she joined Fallon to coincide with the November 2021 release of Red, Taylor's version. The Tonight Show has notably been the site of several memorable moments for Swifties. During a 2019 appearance, Fallon surprised Swift with video footage her mom took from her LASIK surgery recovery. In 2017, Swift also performed an unexpected debut of her song, New Year's Day, on The Tonight Show after Fallon's mom died. For his part, Fallon acknowledged his close relationship with the singer during an October 2nd episode of Watch What Happens Live. I will get a little nervous just cause she's global and I've known her for a long time, he said of her upcoming appearance. I've known her mom and I know her. Melina Khan is a national trending reporter for USA Today. She can be reached at melina.khan at usatoday.com.
Okay. We on to the next story. We see what's going on with the Taylor. I don't know if you a Swiftie. I'm not a Swiftie. I really don't know a Taylor Swift song, but if you like it, I love it. And we're going to be hearing a lot from Taylor Swift because she just released an album. And Diddy also just released, I don't know, we're going to have to read it, guys.
Sean Diddy Combs' lawyers want him sent to a New Jersey federal prison that offers drug treatment. New York, AP, Sean Diddy Combs' lawyers want the hip-hop mogul sent to a low-security federal prison in New Jersey to serve his 4-year, 2-month prison sentence, telling a judge Monday that the facility's drug treatment program will help him stay clean. In a letter, Combs' lawyers urged the judge presiding over his case, Arun Subramanian, to strongly recommend that the Federal Bureau of Prisons place Combs at FCI Fort Dix, a massive prison located on the grounds of the joint military base McGuire-Dix-Lakehurst. FCI Fort Dix, one of several dozen federal prisons with a residential drug treatment program, will best allow Combs to address drug abuse issues and to maximize family visitation and rehabilitative efforts, Combs' lawyer Tenny Garagos wrote. Also Monday, President Donald Trump told reporters that Combs had asked him for a pardon. Trump, referring to Combs by the nickname Puff Daddy, did not say if he would grant the request. Messages seeking comment on Trump's remarks was left for Combs' lawyers and his publicity team. Combs' sentencing Friday on charges he transported people across state lines for sexual encounters capped a federal case that featured harrowing testimony about violence, drugs, and so-called freak-offs, and exposed the sordid private life of one of the most influential figures in music. The I'll Be Missing You singer was convicted in July under the Federal Mann Act, which bans transporting people across state lines for any sexual crime. His trial ended in a split verdict, with acquittals on sex trafficking and racketeering charges that could have put him behind bars for life. Combs has been locked up at a federal jail in Brooklyn, the Metropolitan Detention Center, since his September 2024 arrest. His time there will be subtracted from his sentence, meaning he could get out in about 3 years. In a letter to Subramanian on the eve of sentencing, Combs said he has gone through a spiritual reset in jail and is committed to the journey of remaining a drug-free, non-violent, and peaceful person. I thank God that I'm stronger, wiser, clean, clear, and sober, he wrote. Subramanian has not yet acted on the request to recommend placement at FCI Fort Dix. Judges often make recommendations about where inmates should serve time, but it's up to the Bureau of Prisons to decide. Those decisions, the agency has said, are based on a variety of factors, including the severity of the offense, the required security level, and an inmate's programming needs. FCI Fort Dix, the largest single federal prison by population with just under 3,900 inmates, is about 64 miles, 103 kilometers, southwest of New York City, where Combs was born and rose to fame as a rapper and entrepreneur in an array of businesses, including fashion, television, and liquor. An adjacent minimum security prison camp has 210 inmates. Combs once owned a home in New Jersey, selling it nearly a decade ago. His primary residence, according to court papers, has been a $48 million mansion on an island near Miami. That home and a mansion he owns in Los Angeles were raided by federal agents last year during the investigation that led to his arrest. FCI Fort Dix has been home to a number of high-profile inmates over the years, including reputed mobsters, drug traffickers, corrupt politicians, and pharma bro, Martin Shkreli. For a time, it was run by the warden who had been in charge of a Manhattan federal jail when financier Jeffrey Epstein killed himself at the jail in 2019. That warden, Lamin Ndiaye, has since retired. In 2021, a 27-year-old Fort Dix inmate was stabbed in the eyeball by a fellow prisoner. In 2019, a Fort Dix inmate, a former inmate, and 2 other people were arrested for using a drone to smuggle in contraband including cell phones, tobacco, weight loss supplements, and eyeglasses. The same year, a Fort Dix correctional officer pleaded guilty in a separate case to pocketing bribes to smuggle in contraband. During his time at Fort Dix, Shkreli ended up in solitary confinement amid allegations he was using a contraband smartphone to run his drug company from behind bars. Inmates are forbidden from conducting business and possessing cell phones.
Okay. We on to the next story because we seeing what's going on with the whole stuff going on with the Diddies and the Diddies going on with the stuff, and we know what's going on with the Diddy parties. I don't know what's going on with the Diddy parties, but I heard you know what's going on with the Diddy parties. If you don't know what's going on with the Diddy parties, you must have been living under a rock, and I do live under a rock. My neighbor is Patrick. Don't let everybody know we share a rock together though.
Roy Halladay. Philadelphia. It was 15 years ago that the late teamed up with legendary catcher Carlos Ruiz for just the second postseason no-hitter in MLB history. On Monday night, another Halladay, Roy's son, Braden, took that same mound at Citizens Bank Park to throw a ceremonial first pitch prior to Game 2 of the Phillies' National League Division Series showdown against the Dodgers. He was joined on the field by his brother, Ryan. NLDS Game 3, presented by Booking.com, Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time /6 PT on TBS. Behind the plate to catch Braden's pitch? You guessed it, Church. The opportunity to be back here and to relive everything my dad did and to get to kind of experience it almost feels like I'm back here with him, Braden said. Any opportunity to get to do that is obviously incredible. Halliday's no-hitter in Game 1 of the NLDS against the Reds on October 6, 2010, is a moment that trio of Braden, Ryan and Reese will remember forever, albeit each from a very different perspective. "It's crazy how time flies," Reese said via an interpreter. "Obviously, those moments are in your mind, they're in your heart. It was such a great honor to be part of his moment, and obviously, being here today and being able to catch for his son is a great honor, as well." Braden, meanwhile, recalled a very specific memory from that day, one from long before Ruiz sprung out from behind the plate to field the ball and fire it to Ryan Howard for the final out. "I remember I got on the Jumbotron in the 4th inning and that made my night," Braden said. "In like the 6th or 7th inning, I started to kind of realize what was going on, and I was more nervous than I was today for the rest of the night. Pretty incredible." As for Ryan, he was a bit distracted. It was, after all, the eve of his 6th birthday. "For me, see, I love baseball, but it was always my dad's work," Ryan said. "I'm not sure exactly how to word it, but I just knew it was my dad's work and I was tired. It was late at night. I knew my birthday was the next day and I was restless. So, I was actually just sitting in the kids' room." And while Braden was sweating it out in the later innings, "I didn't know what happened until after the game," Ryan said. "All I knew was we were going to the aquarium that night for my birthday, and that's all I could think about. I didn't care much about anything else." The first pitch idea came together quickly after the Phillies recently reached out to the Hallidays, but even they didn't know Reese was going to be on hand to catch the pitch until the morning of Game 2. "We couldn't have had anyone better to do it," Ryan said. "If you could have asked for anyone, we would have picked Church 10 out of 10 times. So, it was perfect." Braden was grateful for another reason. "I'm glad it was him, so he could go up and get the pitch." Braden joked about his offering that may have come in just above the zone. Braden has remained close to the game following Roy's death in 2017. The former played baseball at Penn State and was later drafted by the Blue Jays, another one of his dad's former teams, in the 32nd round of the 2019 draft. He spent this past spring working for the Clearwater Threshers, the Phillies' single-A affiliate, before completing an internship this summer as a data apprentice for the Texas Rangers. He's not sure what comes next, but Monday night provided yet another memorable moment on the diamond for the Halliday family. And it was only fitting to share it with Reese. "Being here with Roy's sons and getting to see his wife as well, I hold that near to my heart," Reese said. "I just want them to know they're always going to have a special place in my heart as well." Did you like this story? Paul Casella is a reporter/editor for MLB.com.
Honestly, I don't know if I like the story or not. I'm kind of neutral on a lot of these stories, you know what I mean? Like, I got what I got my eyes on or whatever, and I try to disconnect myself with sports because I can find myself becoming aggravated dealing with sports, you know? Fantasy Pros, I'm not going to nothing to say Fantasy Pros. Sports Illustrated, okay. Old school, we in there.
This player is the key to the Jaguars' offense versus Chiefs. The Jacksonville Jaguars offense will need all of the help they can get this Monday night against the Kansas City Chiefs and Steve Spagnuolo's defense. This game presents a terrific opportunity for head coach Liam Cohen and offensive coordinator Grant Udinski to see an offense playing with momentum against one of the most creative defenses in the league. Udinski, however, will get the chance to utilize everyone the offense has to its disposal. That includes the return of a key playmaker who missed time last week due to a shoulder injury. His presence will be welcomed on Monday night. Diami Brown makes his return to the field. Jaguars offensive coordinator Grant Udinski talks with Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence, 16, during the Jaguars' 14th NFL training camp session at Miller Electric Center Tuesday, August 12, 2025 in Jacksonville, Florida. The Jaguars traveled to New Orleans to play the Saints this Sunday in their second preseason game. Doug Engels/Florida Times Union /Doug Engels/Florida Times Union/USA Today Network via main images. Brown returns to the field this week after being out with a shoulder injury against the San Francisco 49ers. Udinski was stoked for his return, explaining how he provides much value for the run and passing game. "I think his toughness and his effort shows up in the run game that you might not always see on TV, but from the sideline or from a coach's perspective, you see him doing a lot of work, inserting on blocks, digging out safeties, blocking corners," Udinski said. Brown's efforts sometimes result in him working to the second level to block linebackers. Those efforts don't go unnoticed to Udinski, the coaching staff, and players on the roster. Sometimes he ends up on a linebacker every now and then. His toughness is felt in the run game, and it's felt when another guy's getting the catch and he's transitioning the block. You'll see someone else take a catch and run down the field and he's down there blocking for the guy, and we love that effort," Udinski said. "That effort is infectious for the entire team, the entire offense really. So you see that in the run game. It is also evident in the passing game. Udinski said that Brown can run a variety of routes inside and out, and as the former Washington commander continues to evolve in the Jaguars' offense, it has brought encouragement to not just the staff but his teammates as well. September 21st, 2025, Jacksonville, Florida, USA. Jacksonville Jaguars wide receiver Dyami Brown, 5, during pregame against the Houston Texans at Everbank Stadium. Mandatory credit, Travis Register Main Images / Travis Register Main Images. He's another guy that over the course of time, as he's become more and more comfortable with the offense, has really improved his versatility to run a bigger route tree, get the ball in hand that he's done in previous years, Udinski said. But adding that layer gets him each kind of level of the field where he's been deep, he's been short, ball in hand, and now he's got the intermediate layer over the middle, outbreakers. So that continued growth has been encouraging, and no, when we have him out there, I think the guys feel that energy that he brings. Ensure you follow on X, Twitter, at JaguarsOnSI and at _John_Shipley and never miss the latest Jaguars news, stories, and analysis. Please let us know your thoughts on Dyami Brown's return when you like our Facebook page, when you click right here.
Honestly, I'm gonna let that little safety net on that zone go too, cause like there ain't no point in having a bunch of safety nets. You know what I mean? I ain't even gonna be listening. I'm just gonna monitor from this little home screen. It's seeming like I'm seeing the chat and everything in this genre, so that's perfect, guys. That's perfect, and I like it like this, cause like, what is the point of me watching my stream? I already gotta watch my stream once so y'all can see this. Okay. Now we on the Phillies. What's going on with the Phillies? I need to know. Dodgers stay. What? Fuck no.
Dodgers outlast Phillies. Take commanding 2-0 NLDS lead. Play. Los Angeles Dodgers versus Philadelphia Phillies. Game highlights. 110. Los Angeles Dodgers versus Philadelphia Phillies. Game highlights. 110. Philadelphia Will Smith drove in 2 runs in support of Blake Snell, who tossed 6 masterful innings of one-hit ball, and the Los Angeles Dodgers outlasted the Philadelphia Phillies 4-3 in Game 2 of the NLDS on Monday night at Citizens Bank Park. With the win, the Dodgers improved to 4-0 in the postseason, and own a 2-0 series lead headed into Wednesday's Game 3 in Los Angeles. The Phillies, eliminated in the same round last season by the New York Mets, have lost 5 of the past 6 postseason games. And in Monday's loss, the struggles continued for stars Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, and Bryce Harper. You'd like those guys to be swinging the bats. Philadelphia manager Rob Thompson said of his top 3 hitters, who are a combined 2 for 21 in this series. But I do like what we're doing at the bottom part of the order. And Snell was good tonight, but I thought our at-bats were better. But you do have to have confidence that those guys will get it going. Turner ended the game with a ground out in the 9th inning, when Los Angeles first baseman Freddie Freeman saved a wild throw from second baseman Tommy Edman that would have scored at least the tying run. Obviously, Tommy threw it into the dirt. Thankfully, I was able to catch it and stay on the base, Freeman said. But that was a stressful inning. Snell struck out 9 before giving way to relievers Emmett Sheehan, Blake Trinan, Alex Vizia, and Roki Sasaki. Shohei Ohtani delivered an RBI single for his first hit of the series in a 4-run 7th, and the Dodgers took a 4-1 lead into the bottom of the 9th. Nick Castellanos slid headfirst into second base, barely eluding a tag, for a 2-run double off Trinan that sent the Philadelphia crowd into a frenzy and trimmed the Phillies' deficit to 4-3. Vizia came in to face Bryson Stott, who tried to advance Castellanos with a bunt. But third baseman Max Muncy wheeled and threw to shortstop Mookie Betts, who sprinted to cover the bag in time to get Castellanos. Pinch hitter Harrison Bader singled, and Max Kepler grounded into a fielder's choice that left runners at the corners with 2 outs just before Turner grounded out. The Dodgers can advance to their 17th National League Championship Series with a win Wednesday night. A club that used the injured list this season 37 times for...
I just ain't got time. I'm getting irritated. Like, nah, we lost all week. Like, we don't need another loss this week. And we got something going on. It's some more. You know, it's from the desk of the, you know the boy. You know your man.
Live updates. Texas troops head to Chicago as Trump weighs use of emergency powers. The president said he would consider using the Insurrection Act to bypass attempts to block National Guard deployments in Chicago and Portland, Oregon. The governor of Illinois, Julie Bossman-Shaw, reporting from Chicago. Here's the latest. National Guard troops from Texas were heading to Illinois on Monday after a federal judge declined to block them, as President Trump said he was considering using emergency powers to deploy military forces. A military official said 200 Guard members would fly to the Chicago area this evening and begin operating there later in the week. A similar effort to deploy Texas troops in Portland, Oregon, has been blocked by a judge for now. On Monday afternoon, Mr. Trump said he could invoke the Insurrection Act to send troops, though he acknowledged that it was not yet necessary for him to do so. The law would allow the president to bypass court rulings blocking such deployments. Mr. Trump laid out a set of conditions that he said could justify invoking the act, including if people were being killed and courts were holding us up, or mayors or governors were holding us up. As the legal battles intensified, both sides engaged in an increasingly caustic war of words, with administration officials accusing protesters in Portland of engaging in insurrection, and officials in Chicago accusing federal forces of attacking demonstrators without provocation. Governor J.B. Pritzker of Illinois, who called the mobilization of troops an unconstitutional invasion by the federal government, said that state officials would use every lever at their disposal to fight the administration. Their plan all along has been to cause chaos, and then they can use that chaos to consolidate Donald Trump's power, he warned in an afternoon news conference. Here's what else to know. Oregon appeal. The Trump administration asked an appeals court to let it send troops from California or Texas to Portland, despite a federal judge's order late Sunday blocking deployments from any state to the city. The judge was appointed by Mr. Trump. It was unclear how quickly an appeal might be heard. Read more. Chicago hearing. Judge April M. Perry of Federal District Court in Northern Illinois, a Biden appointee, pressed Trump administration lawyers for more information about National Guard assignments in the, describing herself as very troubled by the lack of answers. She's outside the federal immigration building in southwest Portland. Roughly 30 protesters held signs, and about 10 counter-protesters were present. Some protesters and counter-protesters yelled at each other, but no ICE officers or National Guard troops were visible. I never thought I'd live through the day where a judge played whack-a-mole with National Guard troops coming to Portland, said one protester, Justin Allen, 40, a film student at Portland State University. He added, "We are locked together in a struggle for American freedom." Image. Credit, Jordan Gale for the New York Times. 4 hours ago. Mitch Smith. Reporting from Chicago. Federal agents accuse a Chicago man of offering money to kill a senior Border Patrol official. Image. Gregory Bovino, a senior Border Patrol official, in suburban Chicago last week. Credit, Jamie Kelter Davis for the New York Times. A federal criminal complaint unsealed on Monday accused a Chicago man of targeting a high-ranking member of the Border Patrol in a murder-for-hire plot, a charge that comes as the Trump administration floods Illinois with immigration enforcement officers and mobilizes National Guard troops. The charging document said that Juan Espinoza Martinez, 37, had recently offered $10,000 in a Snapchat message for the killing of the senior Border Patrol official, who was not named in the court filings. However, the Department of Homeland Security later released a statement that identified the intended victim as Gregory Bovino, who has taken on a highly visible role in immigration enforcement campaigns in Los Angeles and Chicago. An affidavit signed by a special agent with Homeland Security Investigations said agents learned last week that Mr. Martinez had sent a Snapchat message with a photo of the Border Patrol official and an offer for $2,000 for information on that official, or $10K if you take him down. Putting a price on the life of a law enforcement officer is an attack on the rule of law, said Andrew S. Boutros, the top federal prosecutor in Chicago, in a statement. That affidavit also said Mr. Martinez sent messages on Saturday directing members of a street gang to an area in Chicago where a federal agent shot a person. It was not immediately clear whether Mr. Martinez had a lawyer. An official with the Federal Defender's Office in Chicago did not immediately respond to a request for comment. The Department of Homeland Security said Mr. Martinez is from Mexico and in the United States illegally. Mr. Bovino is outspoken on social media and has embraced public shows of force, making him a star among supporters of President Trump. Others have denounced his work and the operations he has helped direct. Among those efforts is the Chicago Area Immigration Enforcement Campaign called Operation Midway Blitz, which has been met in recent weeks with protests and constitutional critiques from state and local officials. 4 hours ago. Sean Hubler. The federal deployment of 300 National Guard troops in California has been quietly extended through January 2026, according to court documents filed in a challenge to the mobilization of troops in Portland, Oregon. The California Military Department, which oversees the state's National Guard, said in a filing that it had received the extension order from the Trump administration on Sunday as the president was seeking to use about 200 of its troops in Oregon. Image. Credit. Alex Welsh for the New York Times. Skip advertisement. 4 hours ago. Chris Cameron. Reporting from Washington. What is the Insurrection Act that Trump says he's considering? Image. President Trump in the Oval Office on Monday. Credit. Anna Rose Layden for the New York Times. President Trump said on Monday he would consider invoking the Insurrection Act, an 1807 law that grants the president emergency powers to deploy troops on U.S. soil, as a way to get around recent court rulings that have blocked his efforts to deploy the National Guard in major American cities. In an appearance on the right-wing cable network Newsmax Monday evening, Mr. Trump said that he saw the Insurrection Act as a way to get around the opposition to the deployments, but did not commit to invoking the law. If we don't have to use it, he said, I wouldn't use it. In an appearance in the Oval Office in the afternoon, Mr. Trump was asked under what circumstances he would exercise those emergency powers. Mr. Trump replied that, we have an Insurrection Act for a reason. And I'd do it if it were necessary, but so far it hasn't been necessary. He laid out a set of conditions that he said could justify invoking the act, including if people were being killed and courts were holding us up, or mayors or governors were holding us up. In Mr. Trump's worldview, at least some of those conditions have already been met. Mr. Trump has described Portland, Oregon, one of the cities he has targeted for National Guard deployments, as on fire for years, adding, I think that's all insurrection, really criminal insurrection. Democratic officials have resisted the National Guard deployments, most prominently Governor J.B. Pritzker of Illinois. On Monday, Mr. Pritzker accused the president of causing chaos and confusion to create a pretext for invoking the Insurrection Act so that he can send the military to our city. Mr. Trump's remarks came after two court rulings over the weekend blocked the Trump administration from deploying hundreds of out-of-state National Guard troops to Oregon. Judge Karen Immergut, an appointee of Mr. Trump's, initially blocked his deployment of military forces on Saturday and then brought in her restraining order on Sunday after Mr. Trump tried to sidestep it, telling Justice Department lawyers that the president had been in direct contravention of her order. Generally, the Insurrection Act gives the president the power to send military forces to states to quell widespread public unrest and to support civilian law enforcement agencies. Before invoking it, the president must first call for the insurgents to disperse, according to a Congressional Research Service report published in 2006. If stability is not restored, the president may then issue an executive order to deploy troops. Mr. Trump has raised the idea of deploying the military for domestic law enforcement since his first term. The Insurrection Act has not been invoked for more than 30 years, and Mr. Trump's use of the emergency powers for routine law enforcement would carry profound implications for civil liberties and for the traditional constraints on federal power. The law typically forbids the use of the military as a domestic police force. But the Insurrection Act authorizes the president to use the military to suppress an insurrection if a state government requests it. And there is some leeway in the president's discretion, such as whether the commander-in-chief considers that the unrest is obstructing laws of the United States. Both Mr. Trump and Stephen Miller, a senior aide to the president, have invoked the term insurrection in remarks justifying the National Guard deployments. The last time that the act was used was in 1992, when riots in Los Angeles broke out after 4 white police officers were acquitted in the beating of Rodney King, a black motorist. Armed forces have also been used to quell civil disturbances after natural disasters, as with widespread looting in St. Croix, in the U.S. Virgin Islands, after Hurricane Hugo in 1989, according to the Congressional Research Service report. But the current situation in Chicago, Portland, and other cities is a far cry from the general lawlessness that precipitated those emergencies. Even as Mr. Trump described Chicago in near-apocalyptic language, the murder rate in the city has fallen significantly so far in 2025, with 319 homicides recorded for the year through the end of September, down by nearly half compared with the height of the pandemic. Even so, Mr. Trump asserted on Monday that it's probably worse than almost any city in the world, and that even Taliban-ruled Afghanistan would marvel at how much crime we have. 5 hours ago. Robert Chiarito. Reporting from the Chicago area. Heavy rain drove most protesters away from the immigration detention facility in Broadview, Illinois, a Chicago suburb, roughly half an hour before a curfew was set to take place at 6 p.m. Central Time. Local officials issued an executive order limiting the protests to daylight hours, saying it was to protect demonstrators from attacks by federal agents. Image. Credit. Jamie Kelter Davis for the New York Times. 5 hours ago. Albert Sun. Chicago and Portland had low rates of immigration arrests before federal operations ramped up. Image. Agents from Immigration and Customs Enforcement detained a person near a Home Depot in the Little Village neighborhood of Chicago in September. Credit, Octavio Jones/Reuters. Until recently, both Chicago and Portland, Oregon, had seen less immigration and customs enforcement activity than other American cities. But immigration arrests have surged in the Chicago area since the beginning of September, when the federal government launched an ongoing enforcement operation. Over the past 4 weeks, Homeland Security officials have announced the arrests of more than 1,000 people across Illinois for immigration violations. That total could not be independently verified, and it was unclear how many of those arrested were still being detained or had been deported. But it would represent a significant escalation. Previously, ICE officers had made about 1,400 arrests in Illinois in the first 6 months of the Trump administration, most of them in the Chicago area, according to data obtained by the Deportation Data Project. About 60% of those arrested in that period had no criminal convictions. In Oregon, ICE had made about 300 immigration arrests in the first 6 months of the Trump administration, according to the same data, with more than half of those in the Portland area. Over that period, Illinois and Oregon were both among the 10 states with the lowest rates of immigration arrests per 100,000 residents. Data on whether arrests in Portland have risen recently was not available. Skip advertisement. 5 hours ago. Eric Schmidt. Reporting on the U.S. military. Some 200 Texas National Guard troops are expected to fly to the Chicago area late Monday or overnight aboard military aircraft, a U.S. military official said. The Guard members are expected to begin operating on the ground no sooner than Wednesday, the official said. 6 hours ago. Julie Bossman. Reporting from Chicago. Neighbors warn neighbors as fear of IC ripples across Chicago. Image. People linked arms in protests on the southwest side of Chicago on Saturday, after a car crash involving federal agents and 2 motorists who federal authorities said were pursuing the agents recklessly. ICE agents responded with pepper balls and tear gas. Credit, Jamie Kelter Davis for the New York Times. The signs in Spanish are taped to windows and storefronts all over Chicago. ICE no es bienvenido aquí. Warning networks have been operating all day, every day, as people who spot agents from Immigration and Customs Enforcement on the streets text friends and neighbors or begin streaming urgent cautions on Facebook Live. Even tourists have been drawn into the Trump administration's immigration crackdown, startled by the sight of federal agents marching in camouflage last weekend through the upscale city's Gold Coast, near the famed Magnificent Mile. What began quietly in Chicago 1 month ago as a promise by the Trump administration to increase arrests of illegal immigrants is now being felt all over this city of 2.7 million people and in the broader metropolitan area encompassing millions more. Tensions are flaring up like small, intense wildfires. At elementary schools on the west side, parents have organized to stand guard at dismissal time. Some construction businesses are keeping their warehouse doors open to keep an eye out for IC agents. Owners of small businesses are doing their own deliveries to protect their Latino employees from driving through the city's streets. In Edgewater, on the far north side along Lake Michigan, a neighborhood listserv lit up with worries on Sunday over a helicopter circling the area. Could it be IC? One person asked. Is there anything we can do? Asked another. Neighbors came out onto the streets of the southwest side on Saturday after a car crash involving federal agents and 2 motorists, who the Department of Homeland Security said were pursuing the agents recklessly. ICE agents responded with pepper balls and tear gas. The crowd, shouting and waving anti-IC signs, remained until the federal agents finally left. Restaurants have cut back hours or stopped making deliveries altogether, unwilling to risk the arrest of their employees. We can't ask anyone to risk their safety just to serve bagels. One restaurant, Bagel Miller, explained in a Facebook post explaining its closure last weekend. Berto Aguayo, a lawyer and advocate for immigrants, described a month of rising tensions, political organizing and outright fear, as Mr. Trump's dragnet ensnared U.S. citizens alongside illegal immigrants. Our family gatherings are filled with crying and trying to figure out how we get past this moment, Mr. Aguayo said. People are being terrorized. People are being attacked. That's what it feels like. When he visits his mother's home in back of the yards, a neighborhood on the southwest side, he said, he sees far fewer people walking around than usual. Every single person who looks brown is scared, he said. October 6, 2025. Chris Cameron. Reporting from Washington. As part of his effort to deploy the military in major cities, President Trump threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act, which would grant him emergency powers to send in troops, as a means to bypass court rulings that have blocked the deployments. We have an Insurrection Act for a reason, Trump said, adding, I'd do that if people were being killed and courts were holding us up, or governors or mayors were holding us up. Skip advertisement. October 6th, 2025. David E. Sanger. Reporting from the White House. From the White House, President Trump justified his effort to put National Guard troops in Chicago.
The whole skip advertisement part is priceless. Like, yeah, you're the audio version. You're supposed to skip a lot of that stuff, bro. I'm not really trying to be like eyeballing all these. You know, I ain't got the eyeballs. I can't see. I'm blind, or unless I'm pretending to be. I have no clue what this is all about. ESPN.
Are the Jaguars expecting too much of wide receiver / cornerback Travis Hunter? Play. Herm Edwards. Travis Hunter would play 90% on defense for me, 0.35. Herm Edwards details why he would play Travis Hunter primarily on defense and situationally on offense, 0.35. Jacksonville, Florida. Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence, facing a 3rd and 15 from his own 6-yard line, did not want the check down. Instead, he looked for rookie Travis Hunter in the middle of the field. The pass was high, but Hunter jumped and snagged it with San Francisco 49ers safety Marquez Sigel on his back. The 28-yard gain, in addition to earning a first down and sparking the Jaguars' second touchdown drive in a 26-21 Week 4 road victory, was the longest play in Hunter's month-long NFL career. Travis set a great angle for me to throw it and made a great play on the ball, Lawrence said. The safety came back in and tried to break it up, and it's a great catch by Travis. It was the first, play from the reigning Heisman Trophy winner who is known for playing on offense as a receiver and on defense as a cornerback. The Jaguars traded 4 picks to move up to number 2 overall to draft Hunter in April. They wanted the same kind of big plays he made for Colorado in 2024, when he caught 96 passes for 1,258 yards and 15 touchdowns while also tallying 11 pass breakups, 4 interceptions and 36 tackles. So far, though, Hunter has yet to reach that level. He ranks 7th among rookies in receiving yards per game.
I just like this screen chat. Like, it just looks so trippy. And with the music, it gets extra trippy. I don't know, chat. I just like my little streams now. Like, I feel like this is a lot more fun. I'm relaxed. I'm laid back, listening to the music, also listening to the news. It's like we're getting smarter together subliminally. And we're not dealing with the fluff and the whole back and forth. And once I start hearing it, they're having that rhetoric of being like an extremist on either side, besides like the first 2 stories on CNN, we gotta go through the whole Trump files or whatever, you know?
29.5, with 0 touchdowns and 1 pass breakup entering Sunday. Hunter has played 58% of the Jaguars' offensive snaps and 38% of the defensive snaps leading into Monday's matchup against the Kansas City Chiefs, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time, ESPN, according to ESPN Research. He's the 4th player since 2007 to play 100-plus offensive and defensive snaps combined in the same season. However, some, such as Hunter's college coach and Pro Football Hall of Famer Deion Sanders, are questioning whether the Jaguars are using Hunter effectively, especially on offense. And others, such as former NFL defensive back and current ESPN analyst Ryan Clark, are wondering if the Jaguars are asking too much of Hunter to learn both positions. But no matter what the critics are saying, Hunter's coaches are being careful about his workload and are noting the concerns, but at the same time are confident in their ever...
I'm sorry, chat, but I can't take a lot of this stuff serious. I understand, like, y'all love football. Y'all love football, that most of the stuff trending is football. But, like, they don't even say no Diddy after half the stuff they say.
Zach Bryan slams IC in new country song, The Fading of the Red, White and Blue. ICE is gonna come bust down your door. Bryan sings in a teaser clip of a new song. Zach Bryan on June 28th, 2025 in London, England. Credit: Gus Stewart/Redferns. Need to know. Zach Bryan teased the new track on his Instagram on Friday, October 3rd. In the new song, the Navy veteran speaks out against the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement's mass raids. He captioned his post with the lyric, "The fading of the red, white, and blue." Zach Bryan is using his music to speak out against U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, IC, and its ongoing raids under President Donald Trump's current policies. In the Grammy winner's latest song, which he teased with a short clip on Instagram on Friday,
Hold
October.
on.
In the Grammy winner's latest song, which he teased with
Okay, I thought that John said grimy.
a short clip on Instagram on Friday, October 3rd, Brian took aim at ICE singing, "I heard the cops came / cocky M, ain't they? And IC is gonna come bust down your door / try to build a house no one builds no more / but I got a telephone / kids are all scared and all alone." Read the lyrics. The middle finger's rising, and it won't stop showing / got some bad news / the fading of the red.
Okay, I'm trying to fix some stuff because I feel this phone getting a little hot. And like, you know, we have long streams on a regular basis. We can deal with a hot phone. Hot phones is not really an issue over here in our chat with the type of stuff we do. But that just tells me we're probably going to have to take away my boy right here. How do I get rid of him? Just gonna make it smaller. Bro, I just want to know why you got my phone so hot, bro. What is you doing? We don't need a fake me right now. We might put a picture of a real me up here, but we don't need the fake me on here right now, okay? Okay. Okay. Now we on to, yeah, it's starting to cool down now. So we'll go right over here. We're going to turn this brightness down again. I don't know, is my adaptive brightness on? I don't need no extra brightness either. Like, I got my phone in dark mode. This phone don't either. Hey, never mind, that don't matter.
Red, white, and blue. Brian captioned the post with the last line of the song in the clip. The fading of the red, white, and blue. Zach Bryan on July 20th, 2025 in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Taylor Hill / Getty. Never miss a story. Sign up for People's free daily newsletter to stay up to date on the best of what People has to offer, from celebrity news to compelling human interest stories. Although Brian has spoken out against IC, a law enforcement agency under the Department of Homeland Security, he has been a longtime supporter of the armed forces. He served in the Navy for 8 years after enlisting at the age of 17. In October 2021, Brian opened up about leaving the Navy in an Instagram post. "It made a man out of me, truly," he wrote. "If it was my decision, I would never get out of the world's greatest Navy. But here I am and they kindly honorably discharged me to go play some music. The best 8 years of my life were spent serving the best country in the whole damn world," he wrote. Trump and his administration have ramped up mass deportations since he returned to the White House in January. Throughout the past few months, musicians and celebrities alike have spoken out against ICE's raids and deportations, and the response to the Trump administration's outcry over the Super Bowl naming Bad Bunny as the Super Bowl 60 halftime show. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, agents in Chicago on January 26, 2025.
As you guys, if you guys don't remember, right? You guys just gotta remember that a lot of these MAGA woke libtards are trying to deport Bad Bunny back to Puerto Rico. And it's like crazy. It's crazy, you know. If we're gonna deport Bad Bunny back to Puerto Rico, I guess Ron DeSantis, he deported Trump to what's that place? New York? Yeah. I don't want that. I'm a whole D-head, guys. I'm a whole D-head. We're gonna be getting off this on soon though.
January 26, 2025. Christopher Diltz / Bloomberg via Getty. The Puerto Rican rapper, who is a U.S. citizen, was announced as the performer for the Super Bowl 60 halftime show on Sunday, September 28th.
Why would you say, like, does anybody not know that Puerto Rico is part of the United States? No, like, I'm asking an honest question, right? Because, like, if you don't realize Puerto Rico, Guam, the Virgin Islands, Hawaii we got one other one. But when you hear it, right, you don't know the territories of the United States. I'm just asking. I'm just asking. That's what y'all want to do now? You want to deport Puerto Ricans? Where you going to deport them back to? Philly, New York? And the fuck is we talking about, bro? You want to start deporting Puerto Ricans? Back to what? Puerto Rico is basically a fucking state. Like you remember, I don't. A lot of y'all wasn't around back then. I'm sorry, I'm revealing my age, but yeah, Hawaii wasn't a state until about the 50s. Like Hawaii became a state the year before Obama was born. Before that, Hawaii was a territory. People born in U.S. territories like Abraham Lincoln, that was born in wherever Chicago is now, before it was Chicago, wasn't born in a state, but there was parts of the United States that wasn't big enough to have statehood. You know what I mean? Like Puerto Rico is the next frontier. And for some reason, a lot of people don't realize that Puerto Rico is like Puerto Rico is basically a state. It's not a state, but it's a state. It's like Native American reservations. Puerto Rico is another one of our Native American reservations. Matter of fact, Puerto Rico is another Native American reservation. That's all it is.
Sunday, September 28th. Bad Bunny opted not to take his Debbie Terrar Mas Photos World Tour to the U.S. due to Trump's administration's use of IC.
No, we didn't want to do none of that. You know what? We all that drunk. Because we're not going to be sitting here talking about Bad Bunny and how stupid a lot of these MAGA dudes been being lately. Like, I'm just tired. My brain is getting broken. Like if you're going to deport Bad Bunny back to wherever Bad Bunny was born, because like Puerto Rico's just another state, right? Then we're just gonna like deport Diddy back to New York. I think we deported Diddy from Miami to New York. So they're probably gonna deport Kevin Gates to Louisiana. They're about to deport Kevin Hart back to Philly. The Rock, they're gonna deport The Rock back to Hawaii. Like the fuck is we talking about? Hey, we gonna start deporting everybody back to their home state. We just call it a deportation, though. You know what I mean? Like Texas is gonna start deporting people back to California. California gonna start deporting people back to Texas. Florida's just gonna deport all their criminals out to all of us. Yeah, Florida's just gonna pick a state and say you. Like I don't understand, guys. I don't understand. I'm still trying to figure out why anybody thinks you deport somebody to Puerto Rico. You're going to deport them to Puerto Rico? You're going to deport somebody to Puerto Rico? I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I need to know. Matter of fact, we got to go find the little goofy MAGA dude that's usually right around my stream, right? And I'm going to be like, bro, do you know Puerto Rico? I got to ask him. This is going to be like kind of like a live debate with this dude. I don't really know who this dude is. But for some reason, he's always right around my stream. Like a lot of other these goofy goobers we be running into or whatever. I can't even put that joint on right now. I want to see it. The last stuff I want to see. I know dude's probably right here. Right around where I'm at, right? I guess I was in his last stream? I don't know. We're gonna see what's going on with this goofy goober though. Oh no, he's live on this we gotta ask him.
Section 8. By the way, Ram, I just messaged you the new house I think I'm gonna get and message you photos.
Oh wow, man, that is beautiful. What happened to your house? Don't you have work to do on it, or is this a rental home?
Yeah, I'm a child, so I see things.
Well, I like this house better. You know,
we're gonna see what comes from typical MAGA.
I want to get a lake house so that when Omar comes down, wait, Omar, he left.
He didn't want to stay in your lake house. I want to stay in your lake house. I'm here.
Wow, he ain't say no Diddy.
What? Is that where you're at?
Should we deport?
I'm a mass. Oh,
I know what city. I'm gonna dox him right now on stream. No, I'm not.
Live out near Boston.
He looks worried.
Massachusetts, great.
I moved away from gambling a couple years ago.
Okay, here we go.
Things I could not imagine.
I'm gonna see if he's gonna answer the question. He's gonna start crying that he needs money.
Blue City, you love
He be
blue.
panhandling on this one. He's part of the reason why I made the sign, guys. I made the sign because I feel like this sign is like the perfect representation of this dude's strength.
Are you Harvard?
Am I Harvard? No. I'm not.
Not yet. Not yet.
I will just put
He's
the
gonna
poor
get, he's
bad
gonna get a master on his
bunny.
master on his PhD on his
With a
PhD
question?
from Harvard. He's going next year.
I'm just trying to find out. Do they want to deport people back to Puerto Rico? Because it's seeming like it's a rumor. I don't know if it's like troll bait.
Because he was in too
And I
many
need to
frats,
know.
that's
Because
why
like
he
I'm
left.
hearing
Like,
some
all
of
the
these
frats were
craziest
tugging
talking
him
points.
in each direction. He's like,
And
"Which
this
frat
dude
do I
right
go
here
with? I can't
speaks
take
all the
this."
crazy MAGA talking points.
My whole year through college, I was always
Like you see,
from relationships.
matter of fact, I had to actually pull him up on here. You guys got to give me a second. You guys got to give me a second. I'm going to pull up this dude on here. But I got to do it a certain way. Anyway, we're going to get this on here. Cause I want y'all to see what the hell I'm talking about, chat. Like, you got to see what I'm talking about. And if you can't see what I'm talking about, then, like, it's just hard to really show you guys what I'm talking about. You feel me?
I would call myself MAGA. Yeah, it doesn't mean I agree with
We're
everything
going to turn him down.
based on as many statistics as I can find.
I don't agree with everything either.
You know what I mean?
But
We're going to turn him down, but I want to let you guys get, like, ultimate audio on his end. Is it? Oh, no. No, he'll just be here like that. But he's, like, on his own panhandling. Like, this is the MAGA panhandler of the year. I don't know why he does it. But this is like the real life MAGA panhandler. Like, matter of fact, it's like this with him, right? It's like this with him. It's like this with Bull. So hold on, I gotta open it up like this, right? Okay. We put him like that. Yeah. Yeah, why he got the sign in front of him though? Why Bull got the sign in front of him? I just want to know, guys. He's just over here. He's holding his little MAGA sign. Oh, it's covering his face. It's covering his face. I gotta move it a little bit. We gotta move it a little bit. We gotta move it, chat. And then, let me see. Where's our layers at? Come on, chat. No, I don't want to see that. Let me see. Oh, yeah, there's the layers. There's the layers. This is funny. No. So I think we got the sign right on them now. Let me see. Did we get the sign on them right? We'll just have to hold them up a little bit more. That don't work. But why this dude got the sign though? Why you on this all panhandling, my guy? Why is you panhandling? MAGA lady, you look fruity as hell. On this stream looking like that. You won't call to debate me. And you probably, I ain't even gonna say it. We just know what you want. So we gave you your sign. Oh, what the fuck is happening with this joint, bitch? I don't pulling up. It's supposed to be over here. Like, I had this shit fucking set up for a minute, man.
Philip, now I'm just realizing. Philip, now I'm just realizing you're a troll.
See? Okay. Hold on. Cause you guys know I just gotta
I guess you guys don't like.
I gotta mess with them a little bit. I gotta mess with these little mega goofy dudes. It's just so hard though, right? Cause I could flip his head around. We're gonna flip his head around for him. But we're gonna flip everything in his background around for him tomorrow, right? And then when we flip everything around for he's still that fucking far down. Okay, we're just gonna have to do it like that. We're gonna have to do it like that. But it's like he don't want to debate us. You guys know. We got the number up there. Do I got the number up there? No, we ain't put the number up tonight. Let me put the number up. We take a call-ins and all that. We do all the goofy shit that the rest of these goofy-ass dudes do. You know what I mean? But they don't really call me to debate me. They be talking like they want that smoke. They don't want that smoke, bro. They don't want that smoke. I'm trying to remember what this joint is. I know I got the 1-800 number. Hey guys, what are we gonna say today? Yeah. I said orange. Let me see. Orange. Man. Man. Changed my mind. I don't join no links with no discords or whatever. I don't listen. I don't associate with Adobe Acrobats though. I don't associate with Adobe Acrobats. I see a young man getting groomed. He's like barely legal. They grooming him on this one, guys. Talk about taking him to the lake house and shit. Like I'm still so confused. Every time I hear anything about Discord, right? Up until this point, it was a sting. It was like Chris Hansen is in the Discord. It's Discord, Roblox. What's the other joint? Discord, Roblox. There's a whole bunch of shit. I'm trying to figure out something though. I gotta figure out what this number is, and I gotta open up this number because I don't know if you guys realize if I'm not looking at my phone, you can't call me, no matter what fucking number you got. Because I don't let people call me unless like I want you to call me. If I want you to call me, right, it's a very few people in this world that got like access to me, and then like the access is like restricted at certain times depending on who you is. You know what I mean? Like you just not just calling me any random ass time. Okay, that's the number. We're gonna put this on right here, and then we're gonna go find these weirdos on the internet. Oh, and we got a bunch of weirdos too. They all on that fucking list, Goofy. You hear talking about the list? They all on that list. That's why, like, I'm like not at home with these motherfuckers. They is all on that bitch ass list, my guy. They is all on that bitch ass list. They is all like, I don't care who you think. Clinton on that list. I don't think Trump was on that list, but they either on the Epstein list or they on the Diddy list, right? Trump definitely on the Diddy list. I seen Trump at all the Diddy parties. But now I be questioning because I seen Trump with Michael Jackson too. Trump might be on the Michael Jackson list, and it's just like I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, right? But it's very possible. It's very possible Trump was on the Diddy list. I mean the Michael Jackson list. Trump was on a few lists. Trump is like on the FBI most wanted list now at this point, guys. Make a fuck. So we got the ability to call in. And I'm about to get off of YouTube. Because you know YouTube get wild. I mean, you know when I be on this joint, it gets wild. We going to like allow all trolls. And then like I'm going to be clipping up these trolls as time goes on or whatever. So it's just like You can come in here, see the name. That's like the only way. Motherfucker really invite on this zone or whatever. But we gonna be over on Rumble, Twitch, all the bullshit everybody else be on. And you can say whatever the fuck you want. You know what I mean? Cause like I'm really on. I'm gonna say whatever the fuck I want on this zone. But I gotta go find some of these weird ass dudes that I can actually spaz on. Cause like, and I'm not gonna spaz. You just gotta do it surgical. You gotta surgically do it. Cause like, it's so funny to actually realize something. And motherfuckers be slow. And don't see how I do it, right? I know how to like. I'm telling you guys, I'm surgical. So you ain't over there. You ain't gonna see the surgicalization. But people that know me know I'm real surgical. You know, my goofy ass sat back in a hole for over a year. I'm surgical as fuck. I know how to get to you from behind that gate. You know what I mean? I know how to get to you from behind.